podcast. This is ABC DVD, Two Brothers' Alphabetical Journey through a DVD collection that fully understands the psychosocial aspects of the human nature. I'm Noah.
I'm Josh, and I'm impressed you said psychosocial so well.
Well, that's because I'm a social worker, and I can say biopsychosocial spiritual. Cool. Those are all the aspects that we can assess.
Neat.
I know! I'm totally using my degree.
To zero effect.
To zero effect. And that is what we're doing today. The 1998 film Zero Effect.
Yeah, I guess, neo-noir kind of movie. It's not hard noir, but it's it's noir-esque.
It's noir.
It's a mystery.
Noir adjacent.
It's noir adjacent. Yeah, it's semi-noir.
But it was directed and written by Jack Kasdan, who wrote Walk Hard, The Dewey Cox Story, Jumanji 3, and Sex Tape.
I think it's Kasdan.
Kasdan?
Yeah, Jack Kasdan. But
okay.
Yeah.
Kasdan?
We don't want to say names wrong. You know I don't ever do that.
Ever.
Yeah, so yeah, he has done those movies.
So this is different than his other stuff.
I think it was like one of those earlier ones of I had dreams of being someone different.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bill Pullman is the star.
Yeah.
You want to guess him?
Well, he plays Darryl Zero.
Yes, he does.
Yes. Let's go with...
I'll give you a hint. They're all space.
Okay. Spaceballs.
Uh-huh.
You know what? I'm blanking. That's the only space one I know he's in.
Independence Day 1 and 2.
Right, fair enough. I mean, he's on Earth.
Yeah, I'm saying it's space.
Things from space came, yeah.
Ben Stiller.
Yes. This one could go either.
No, there's a lot. So it's like, what did IMDb choose as his best?
I'll go with Meet the Parents.
Nope.
And Zoolander.
Yep.
Royal Tenenbaums.
Nope.
Okay.
And you're out.
Okay.
Tropic Thunder and The Secret Life of Walter Mitty.
Yeah, those are probably more fair. He's more the main character in those.
It was Ryan I can't read my handwriting.
Ryan O'Neal.
Thank you.
Yes.
Ryan O'Neal.
Yeah, related to Colonel.
Yes. Love Story, Barry Lyndon, Paper Moon.
Yep.
And I'm also going to put Kim Dickens in here.
Yep, because let's have the ladies have a moment.
Well, I mean, because I was like,
she's more in it than he is. I feel, but
it's
close. It's close. Yeah.
She's in Gone Girl, Hollow Man, and Deadwood.
Yep. Okay. Yep.
So
she plays Gloria Sullivan. So.
Yes. But yeah, for a synopsis. The world's greatest detective, Darryl Zero, aided by his associate, Steve Arlo, investigate a complex and mysterious case of blackmail and missing keys for a shady tycoon, Gregory Stark, who is less than forthcoming about what really is happening.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. So we went over this. It's like, it's from my collection.
It is, yeah.
I don't remember how I came across it. I am guessing that I must have watched this on like HBO sometime in the late 90s.
Yeah, shortly after it finished its very brief run in the theaters.
Well, because I was like, I don't remember this in the theaters. And obviously, based on its numbers, it did not stay in the theaters that long.
No, I think it was too niche at the time.
One of those things of watching it as a 16-year-old versus watching it now is like, I then realized like, oh, this is Sherlock Holmes.
Oh yeah, no,
it's based off of a Sherlock Holmes.
It's based off of a couple of things, and I guess I could touch on that, because he's not doing what they claim is deductive reasoning of Sherlock Holmes. He's more doing what Poirot would do, of like using being a subject of human tropes and stuff, and knowing like the psychology and using the low gray cells, and the joke of we could just go through the opening because I'll talk about this pretty quick. It's the opening titles. There's tax forms being filled out.
He's making up an alias.
And then Ben Stiller's opening, telling all the past great cases that Zero's done. Some of them reminded me of Poirot, of particularly saying he never leaves his apartment if he doesn't have to. And there's one book called Poirot Investigates where he makes a bet that he won't even leave the apartment and he can solve the case. So that's what I think it's going for. But yes, this is heavily cribbing off of the scandal in Bohemia for Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, because I mean, there's obviously the Watson characters, Ben Stiller, Sherlock Holmes, and then later on we get the Eileen Adler and Gloria. But it's like, it is that fun thing is where I've always kind of touted this is like, I know this is a mixed reviewed movie. What I liked about this one versus other mysteries is that 30 minutes in, you already know who did it, and you get
So, and I'll just jump ahead to that.
I mean, yeah, if you want to talk about any stylistic.
Well, no, stylistically, but yeah. So there's different types of mysteries of there's like the whodunit. That's your classic.
Yeah,
you don't know.
You go along with
it. You try to solve it. There's the Columbo of how does he catch him?
Yeah,
you already know who did it. You know how they did it.
Yeah,
how is Columbo going to catch him?
Yeah.
This is more of why did they do it? And,
yes.
And they even stated in a voiceover later on is like the art is in the whys.
Yes.
So this is why did this happen? Why is this person being blackmailed? Why did this crime in the past happen? Well, so that's what this movie is about, is the why.
And I think I like it because I don't know of other why movies that much. Of like, you get a why that leads you to another why, to lead you to another why.
Yeah, it's like it's unraveling. Like we still haven't gone to the source incident.
Yeah,
but
so that's why I like this one. But as you said, like the intro is been Mr. Arlo setting up his boss, saying like he doesn't do face to faces. He's expensive. Telling him like the past things, which I always have to laugh at movies like this. Like, you're just going to take my word that he did all these things.
Yeah.
Like this one case? Yeah, he totally did that.
Yeah, and is that like it would be better if you showed and didn't tell. And I know the director's like, I wish I got to the action better, but Ben Stiller did such a great job at this opening that it actually worked. Because
he's doing it so, and I appreciate that that they
juxtaposition it.
Yeah, because there is a lot of good humor in here of it. Like, this is his sales pitch, but then you go to the bar, like, he's a pain in the butt. I hate working for him.
He takes the same things that are positive pros in the selling point, but are cons in his personal life. I was like, he doesn't leave. He's such a pain in the butt.
Yeah, he's rude.
He's rude and all these
but
things.
I think as a Watson character, this one works well because I think about like the Sherlock Holmes of the 2000s with
Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Wood.
Well, even that, but even the movies with
Robert Downey Jr. and
but both of them are guys like where the Watson is a little more
put upon.
Well, he's put upon, but he's accepting of Sherlock Holmes. Whereas I like no, if you had a Watson character like today, he would be like Ben Stiller, like, well, he pays me, but God, I really get frustrated with him.
And this is like one of those interesting things because I've read all the Sherlock Holmes and I am more of an Agatha Christie fan. He's not that big of a jerk in those. That has become that's become more of a trope later on in adaptation after adaptation. It's like he was actually very magnanimous to like the people who were above him in station. He was respectful to the people who was below his station for information. So it's like, oh, this is just a trope that just has become that.
Well, and I could see definitely like the artistic human side of like, listen, what happens when someone becomes so obsessed in their craft? What has to fall by the wayside? And this is definitely personified here.
And it is like that. I remember taking a class about modern day mysteries and stuff of going to Holmes is so easy. It's kind of almost lazy, but they hit all the classics of he has a drug problem.
Yeah.
He plays a stringed instrument.
Yes.
He lives alone, but
he's paranoid.
But
no, and we do say because he goes to his apartment, which I think is I enjoyed it because like the safe thing, he has to kick it open and all the locks and just the frustration of you can just see like, I have to do this every time.
Yeah. So
but he's got a mess. He can't take care of himself. But like he like our Ben Stiller says, like, listen, once he's on the case, it's like a switch flips and he's on it.
And so this case is Mr. Stark is being blackmailed. He won't say why,
and he's also missing his keys
because he's missing his keys. And could you find out either where my keys are, who's blackmailing me, and all these other things, like, but won't give all the information.
Yeah, and this is all set up with Ben Stiller, telling him this is what it is. He's already kind of on it. He already knows who these people are and like the past. Ben Stiller gets a moment to go back to his home, which I have to laugh. It's like, it's not a 90s film if someone isn't coming out of a pool.
Exactly. In a sultry way.
In a sultry way. And I mean, this character, if he's Watson, is like, it is, his fiance, girlfriend, like, plays it really great. Like, he doesn't even have to say anything. She's just like, God damn it.
Yeah, his work-life balance is terrible.
Bad, but he, once the case starts, it's like, like, I'm going at 6 o'clock. You're driving me.
Yeah.
We're going to do this, that, and the other. And then you get I guess the closest thing to noir we have is him narrating.
Yeah, his own
method.
His method, his memoirs.
The observation and objectivity. I've become completely detached. And you're almost like, is he as good as he is? Because you're watching him do this and like, it's him flipping his jacket around. I'm like, well, that's not great.
That's
like,
I could do better.
But then when you see him actually do it in practice, he is actually rather good at it.
Well, so we got him at the gym, and it's the start of the investigation, and he's investigating his client, which is a fun way of doing this stuff. Is like, well, the best way to figure out why you're being blackmailed is I'm going to figure out
who you are,
so I can figure out how I would blackmail you. Yeah, and we also get a quick introduction of Gloria. Sorry, that's my bad handwriting. Gloria and Zero. On him using one of the few times of genuine deductive reasoning, or of
where he was like, "Are you a
paramedic?" Yeah.
Well, and like there are these like slip up moments, which I appreciate. Yeah. And it's like,
well, because this is followed up quickly. Like he does get the start of the the blackmail instructions of how the guy is supposed to drop off money, and then it's like it's a series of things of you're going to get on this bus, then you're going to get a pager, and you're going to get off the bus and go to this place, and then you're going to get this. It's basically there's no way to predict where this is going to end up, but Daryl Zero ends up there. It's like the best way to follow someone is to be there first. And I'm going, this is a neat trope. How did you actually do that? This is where I kind of question, like, how did you get there before him?
Well,
and so that's like,
that one doesn't bother.
This is a cheat of the movie. He's like, you're really good, but you're doing it in a fantastical way. So this is where I kind of have problems with it.
If he's following, because if we follow his this logic, it's like if he knows where these things are happening, like if he says like, okay, I know that you're going to be put on this bus at this time,
that's the last thing he knows.
Yeah,
he knows it's like he's going to get a pager to get off at some location. Yeah, a pager to get at this train, a pager to get to this address.
I always just figured he was following him.
Yeah, but he got there before him. That's the thing. So
it doesn't. It's like even if you're there a minute before him, like let's say he parks faster. It's like it is.
It's a cheat.
It's a cheat, but it's like I do appreciate the hiding in plain sight aspect of it. But what this movie also does is in that drop situation is upon rewatching is like there are a lot of MacGuffins thrown in there to like get the eagle-eyed viewer, because like when the guy leaves, there's someone just hanging outside the bathroom who immediately goes inside. There's all those things.
The red herrings kind of thing.
And I appreciate
is it this person who stole it? Is that person?
But once again, it's like 35 minutes in, you know who the blackmailer is.
Yes.
And then it goes into the like you said, this is where the meat of the story comes in. He's like, research is key. I need to know the why. I get hand off like I know who the blackmailer is,
but that's not good enough.
I need to know why.
Yeah.
And so he starts, following Gloria. She works in an old folks' home. He goes back to the gym, and that's where she kind of confronts him, like, how did you deduce that I was a paramedic? And he does.
Yeah, he explains it out.
Honestly, and it's that. Oh.
Yeah. No,
he does something which I feel like is somewhat out of character. Is he gets caught in a lie.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm an accountant.
Yes.
And it's one of those.
He rolls with it, like, oh, you're part of this conference, so you're an accountant. It's like, yes, I am.
Yes.
Instead of going, no, I'm just here. I'm an architect, which is the lie he gave someone else.
It shows that he's off his game
with her.
Yes. Arlo is still doing the research back and forth.
Kept getting put on
which is like a running kind of gag that he's never allowed to kind of have a moment. But they find this poem written by Stark.
Yes.
Way back in his youth.
Yeah, and they make
Ode to Clarissa.
Ode to Clarissa, and they make a meal of it, but it's an important poem for the rest of the movie.
No, it is. And I do have to laugh, like, but it doesn't rime. Like,
it's like, maybe it's
not supposed to rhyme, but they keep kind of coming back, like, you're right, it doesn't rhyme.
It's a terrible poem.
It's a bad poem. Yeah. But, he's still, saying like, it's like, well, what did you find? It's like, well, I found the blackmailer. And it's like, but I don't know why. And then kind of go like, she's charming. And it's like, charming?
It's like, this, you could see it's like Ben Stiller's, like, oh,
Ben Stiller knows what's going on.
It's like long before he does. It's like, you're showing actual humanity.
And,
and then we get another, thing of like, who's KV? It's like,
there's a KV. There's with like, I still need to know what's inside the, the safe deposit box.
But, then it's like he's asked by to be to look at her taxes.
But before that, they say like you need to go put pressure on our client.
Okay, yeah.
And I have to say, paying Daryl Zero is like paying a blackmailer.
It's almost the same. It's like
get in this car, go here, we'll switch tickets, you'll get a same. But
it's just as difficult as the other ones are.
But this is where we get a little more like, where he comes out as like, hey, why don't you tell me who,
who you hired to kill
him? And it's like,
why did you hire him to kill Clarissa?
This is where you get the KV. It's Craig and Vincent, and he goes, you basically.
He wasn't really blackmailed in the past, but there was a woman he was infatuated with, spurned his advances. He raped her, and then she was going to expose him. And he's this powerful family. It's like, I would never go to jail, but the scandal alone was not worth the headache. So I had her killed. And it's like, are you okay with that? I was like, yeah. But
at the same time, Daryl Zero finds the keys, which is that funny thing. It's in the couch.
It's in the couch. This was never part of this mystery.
Which I have to laugh. It's a great line. He goes, so wait, it was just a coincidence? It was just a coincidence. Like, well, that seems bad. He goes, no, I was hired to find his keys, and I found them.
He was looking for a year, and we found his keys.
Yeah, always look in the couch cushion.
Yeah, but one of my favorites from this is when he's trying to do her taxes, and he has to call for help. It's like, you can speak so many languages, you can do this, but you don't know how to do taxes.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, that's a W2 now, not WW2. That's World War II. It's like, that's how complicated tax code is.
And I once again, it's like if we're gonna poke holes in the movie, is when he goes to do her taxes, Gloria says, what's the
she's testing him.
Is I would think at that point he'd be like, okay, she's kind of on to me.
Yeah.
And I have to laugh. I mean, it could be, this is the Irene Adler. She's very confident, is that she's not stupid either.
No, she's not
she's
stupid
just
either.
as smart as he is.
Yeah.
She goes, well, I'm going to take a nap.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you invited someone over to your house to do your taxes who you don't really, you're going to take a nap?
I know.
And then a shower?
Yeah.
I mean, Gloria, you are confident, but girl,
it's like, you in danger? Yeah. And the fact that he needed a calculator shows that it's the 90s.
Yeah. Well, a calculator with a piece of paper.
Yeah.
But I have to laugh. And you know what they did next when she was taking a shower? He did his taxes.
Taxes is like, yeah. But he gets to search around, but he has that moment of, do I peek? Because she did leave the door a crack open.
Well, he finds the photo of Craig and Vincent.
Yeah. And then we get the always try to keep your receipts. I always do.
Yeah,
that's important for later. But
you get a brief interlude of Arlo at home and basically his fiance saying, "I need you to make a decision."
Like most things, that life choices and ultimatums need to come over a game of Scrabble because you'll always have the right word to play off of.
I know that I always have the right letters.
But I think it's like it's like, I need you to quit. I don't know if I could do that, but I will if you marry me. It's like, this is so romantic. You guys know how to really really go for the heartstrings. But
then we go Daryl and Gloria go to a diner.
Yeah.
It's like, and this is what I'm wondering, I'm going to assume that when she's probing him for his past,
yes,
that he is actually telling the truth.
No, I believe that too. This is why he suddenly became detached.
Yeah, and he talks about there's a day, my dad killed my mom. I was in a bad place, and then one day, something switched in my head.
Yeah,
and it's like, no, that probably is the moment you lost it.
Yeah, I lost it, and then he leaves the receipt. They go shooting.
Yeah, it's like, let's go shoot guns in the world. It's like in the woods. It's like Gloria, if this was a different movie, you were just setting yourself up to be with a psychopath. Or maybe she is the psychopath. And she's grabbing accountants off the road.
But it's like, after a nice romantic date, she asks you back and you still end up on the couch.
Well, and that was the thing that I put down. I was like, she says it's a pull-out couch, and you didn't pull it out. You were sleeping in the most uncomfortable way.
But yeah. So.
We learned that Craig and Vincent is serving life in prison for murder one of Clarissa.
And probably is her father.
And that's what he comes to. He's like, it's Gloria's father. She's out for revenge.
Because he's, was hired and then, got sick and is being
But it's like, I need, there's still more whys. Like, I need to go, why did he leave his prints?
Yeah, so we need to investigate this old murder,
we learned about beds and water heaters and... we
get Stark and Clarissa's backstory.
And so this is where the questioning of Stark comes in, where they go to
Ruth's Steakhouse. Because this is all actually filmed in Portland. This is one.
No, and that's I did skip over that, and I like movies.
Yes.
That do not take place in the quintessential, like no L.A., no New York, no Washington D.C.,
no Chicago,
Well, I mean, Chicago, I'd be okay. I mean, that's like a second tier, but it's like no. You get
Portland's never really hit.
Portland is not a major,
and it was set and filmed 90% in Portland.
But you find out that
he raped her.
Well, and it is,
though he never really says it. He never incriminates himself, but it's a wink and a nod. And
it was like, I'd say if it's like Arlo jumps the gun and fills the gap in for him.
Yeah.
So, but we're going to assume that is true. But he says, no, I hired Cragen to kill him.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, what's in the safe deposit box? Like, it's a tape of me hiring him.
Yeah.
So I had the key, they had the box,
and I just had to make payments for the next 25 years
or something like that. It's like I had to make sure that his family was taken care of.
So, and here's the thing: is like you can't buy, you can't buy silence. You can only rent it. And this is a thing the FBI actually says is that if you're ever blackmailed, never make a payment because it never ends. Immediately go to the FBI for blackmail because that's their thing. And there's a fun story of like Pin Gillette, the magician. Actually had like his computer hacked and like compromising photos of him or something were taken, and they threatened him, and he went like immediately to the FBI. I was like, okay, how much money have you given them? I was like, never. I haven't given him any money. It's like, wow, that's never happened before. But it's like he knew a scam when he saw one.
Yeah, it's like no, they will always come back for more.
Yeah, so
life lessons from the ABCD podcast.
Yes.
But yeah, no. Then we find out that Daryl is losing it over the retirement
of Steve. Yeah.
And it's like, it is a tender moment of like, he goes basically like, I don't know how I'm going to
work without you.
Yeah. You're my only friend.
Yeah.
Which is sad and sad.
Yeah. But then, Steve shows that he's still loyal to Zero because Stark shows up and says like, is he in there? If I go in there, do I meet him? I want you to sell out your boss. Tell me who Black Mirror's like, what? How do you know they already know it? 2, you're threatening the one guy who's actually getting results.
What?
And like $5 million.
It's just like, so for $5 million, no, I expect you to kill him. Like, you're dirty. It's like, well, then I'm going to go in there. It's like, I will shoot you. Yeah. And I can do it for free.
Yes.
So it's like, no.
It's showing that he still cares for Zero.
Yeah, but it's like, it is, that's like, my boss is still 100 times better than you.
Yeah. But then we get another diner of dinner, and this is where he leaves the receipt.
Well, it's like,
but it's like, you really gotta like, her mentality is like, I could die at any moment. Anyone can. It's time to live your life. And hey, that redheaded waitress reminds me of my mom.
I mean, that's clunky to me.
It's a little clunky.
But it's like, I do appreciate it's like, because I'm always looking in movies like, is there kind of like coded talk here? And it's like, I really feel like they are both showing their cards. It's fine. It's like, it's like you quit while you're like, you need to quit while you're ahead. It's like, you need to quit before you die.
Yeah.
Kind of like we both know what's going on here. We're not going to come out and say because we're
but she's researched him already because we saw the microfiche film. We didn't see her doing it, but you see from her face that she's researching something.
Well, it's like I like, it's like we both can at least be honest in our brains that like we can at least warn the other person.
Yes.
But now you find out that
Clarissa was Gloria's mom,
and that Stark is
her daughter from the rape. And I do like that of like, can you use a person as evidence for a rape case? It's like, I actually you could. Yeah. So,
but
so we get
oh yeah, I was like, here's another like I mean because this is like the finding out about the family more deeper into it.
Yeah.
How you became Zero and the I have to say, as a stylistic choice,
yes,
the song that was used to go into the 90s sex scene
is
less than...
Yeah, no, I just wrote, he left the receipt, oh no, and then sexy times. And, and then it just is. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that I feel like you could have chosen a better song.
Different song, but it,
But and then, it's like we're getting to the wrap-up part. Everyone is at the gym together.
Yep, and then we get it's like, well, I'll see you later, and then it's the final drop off, and now Stark's not willing to play ball, so he's going to go inside the observatory, try to find his blackmailer, and has a heart attack before he figures out who it is.
Right,
and then
she does the
right thing,
thing, and saves his life. Yeah. They find the box,
He gets the tape.
And you get that kind of like, he goes back to the apartment.
And waits for her.
And you get the phone call. She goes, well, I'm leaving. He goes, I know where you're going.
And it's like, you're never finding me. It's like, you're going here on this flight. It's like, okay, you're good.
Okay, you're good. And he was like, if you knew I was going to be here, why didn't, you sent your man. Because she's like, oh my God. It's like, I'm going to help you get out of this. She goes, but if you knew I was here, why didn't you come? He goes, I knew you're doing. I was hoping you were going to be here.
Like, it's that objectivity versus emotional.
And
thing.
then it ends with her saying Daryl Zero, and he like gets a moment of surprise, which is like that Sherlock Holmes like I met someone who could best me.
Yeah, and so and this is a thing like with Irene Adler of the Bohemia case is that she's been turned into like this dominatrix kind of woman, where in the actual book of she was in a relationship with a monarch and had pictures of it, and then the monarch was going to get married and did not want these pictures to ever come out to embarrass the crown, and so hired Sherlock to find the pictures and the person. And when he goes to her place, because she knows where they are, where the picture should be is just a note saying, "I'm getting married. I'm never going to blackmail him. This is just insurance so he never comes after me. I'm good." And Sherlock's going, "Oh man, I should never underestimate women again. I've always have. This is one." It's like she was just slightly better than him. Yeah, and that is who she is. And I kind of like this. This is kind of similar thing of, no, you're just as good at figuring things out as I am.
Yeah, I may not be as good as I think I am. There's other people, and you get the definitely the after effects of Ben Stiller goes and gets married and isn't going to come back, and he's alone. He's finished his memoirs. Gloria's off somewhere,
and he's not going to look for her. And he went to the funerals and all these things. But it's like, this is always just like through observation and minor intervention, you can help people's lives, and it's the zero effect. They said the title
at the very end.
But I like that there was something at the beginning where he's like his price is expensive, but it's always set. Sometimes he does pro bono. In this case, he did pro bono for her.
That's
and
true.
Didn't even know it.
Yeah. Well, and in conclusion, there's one more line that I like in this.
Yeah.
That I think sums up, everything. Is like, there are no good guys.
Yeah.
There are no bad guys. There's just guys.
Yeah.
And when you just have guys in the room trying to solve something, they could get angry.
Well, they could get very angry. I mean,
especially if you get 12 of them.
I mean, at least not a baker's dozen, but maybe like 12, 12 angry men. Yeah.
I still do that like that line. It just leads into our final film of this season
of 12 Angry Men. A phenomenal. If you ever get picked for jury duty, you should watch this movie because it does tell you what you should be as a juror.
Right, and it's like this will probably be our oldest film that we watched. Can't think of something older we've watched.
I mean that we've ever watched. Yes, I mean we have older things in our collection. We just haven't hit them yet.
But it's like it's a black and white, bottle film of one room, 12 men discussing a case.
Yep,
it is
still so good. I love this movie so much. Yeah.
So I hope you were able to see Zero Effect. I do realize that is a little
bit harder to come by. Yeah.
But definitely check out 12 Angry Men for next time.
Yep, and we'll see you then.
All right,
bye. I'm allergic to our recordings. There's an ointment for that.
They make me break out in hives.
Hives!
You make my ass twitch.
There we go.